Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody! We have a lot to cover as usual. The royal family's been out and about. Oh my goodness, so much. Let's just jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. All right. Now, before we do anything, I want to say thank you to the person who sent me this birthday card. It's very difficult when you don't have parents or, relatives. I want you to know this is the only card I got this year, and I was really touched to receive it. Thank you. I also want to say a big thank you to the person who sent me this, the Royal British Legion magazine, and these stamps for my collection. You're very generous. All right, let's jump in. We're going to start off with Queen Camilla. She met with Colonel Ruth Ware. Now, Miss Ware is head of the Corps for the Royal Australian Corps of Military Police, and they had an audience at Buckingham Palace. Now, Camilla and Charles, after that, had a reception at Buckingham Palace to celebrate the Windrush generation. Look who's peeking out from the middle there. Anyway, King Charles spoke with politician David Lammy in this photo. At this reception, 10 portraits or pictures of elders from the Windrush generation were unveiled. And this reception marked the 75th anniversary of the arrival of the Windrush Empire to the UK. Lots of familiar faces. Here Camilla is talking to the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby. Here she is talking to Floella Benjamin. And here she is talking to Moira Stewart. She also spoke with June Sarpong. And Sir Trevor MacDonald was there also. So lots of famous people there. It looks like it really went off well. Wonderful reception. I love some of these outfits. I'm even liking Camilla's dress. I know a lot of people said they hated that pantsuit she wore the other day. I do like this color on her, though. I think it looks lovely. All right, moving on. Now, also today, there was a garden party that marks, remember that I told you they do bees and they raise bees and honey and everything? Well, this charity, it's their 30th anniversary, and this charity supports international communities and helps them unlock the benefits of beekeeping to help pull people out of poverty. Now, during this garden party, Queen Camilla got to taste honey from India and Zimbabwe. That makes you wonder, does it taste different from area to area? Do bees do different? Well, maybe because there's different flowers. All right, moving on. Now, also today, Camilla might have been having her, audience. The king had Sue Layden, who was the daughter of Lord Hunt, Peter Hillary, the son of Sir Edmund Hillary, and Mr. Norgay, the son of Mr. Norgay, to mark the 70th anniversary of the ascent of Mount Everest. Very cool. All right, moving on. All right, this popped up and I just thought it was really cool. Apparently, when King Charles was in Pickering, remember he took the railway? There was a guy standing in the line with a very famous portrait of his mother with him and Princess Anne at Balmoral Castle. I think King Charles was very touched. Now, I don't know if the guy gave him the photo or what, but it was really cool to see. We're going to move on now to Princess Anne. On Monday, she went to Carers Support, and she saw the activities and the support that family carers in the area receive. Very, very nice. Now, sticking with Anne, for the British Nutrition Foundation, she went to Washington Borough School to help with the kids in a participation in Healthy Eating Week. And she was present at the school and she firsthand saw their activities. Very nice. Still sticking with Princess Anne, she did investitures at Buckingham Palace, and one of the people that she did was Denise Lewis. She was made a Dam Commander of the British Empire. She won gold at the Sydney Olympics in the year 2000. Loving that dress. Love the color, and I love that hat. And she looks fabulous. Next up, You have crime writer Ian Rankin. He was knighted for his service to literature and charity work. He is a crime writer. That's pretty cool too. He said he was thrilled to be honored, but said he was bemused at first by the news. Next up, John Warren. He was the racing manager for Queen Elizabeth's horses. He was made a commander of the Royal Victorian Order. There was a lot going on. Now, that was done at Windsor Castle. Very nice. Lots of people got invested for lots of different things. I just think that this is so wonderful. And you see the people, getting their stuff from Princess Anne, and you can just see on their faces how proud and what a momentous occasion it is. Personally, if I had something pinned on me by Princess Anne, I would not be unpinning it for a picture. Even to hold it up, that thing would never come off my chest, I'm telling you. All right, moving on. We're looking at William and Sophie. Interesting combo. They went together to watch a screening of a movie called Rhino Man at the newly renovated, you guys know what I'm trying to say, Battersea Power Station in southwest London. Renovated, that's what I meant to say. This was produced by the charity Global Conservation Corps, and it's a documentary that shines a light on the field rangers in South Africa who risk their lives on a daily basis to protect the rhinos from being poached into extinction. We know how much William and Catherine care about that. Pretty cool. Now, this is a feature-length documentary, and they're saying that, quote, the cause is one that is particularly close to the prince's heart and has become a cornerstone of his royal work, close quote. Of course, Sophie looked absolutely fabulous. Now, I have to tell you, here's the part that I think is disgusting, and this is why people don't take the Sussex Squad seriously. They put up pictures of the two of them arriving together and insinuated that they were having an affair. Yes, that William is having an affair with his aunt. These are the comments, which is why nobody really takes the Sussex Squad seriously. People look at the stuff like that, they laugh at them, and they move on. And that is why. This is really serious, and it's about the environment. And I would think that people would understand that. But, small minds and all. Now, it's at this time that comments are coming out, articles that Sophie is one of King Charles's brightest stars, and they're calling her Secret Weapon Sophie. I happen to think that they watched one of my videos and they got it from there. That's what I think. Now, they pointed out it's very rare to see Sophie out with the heir to the throne, but that this is an indication of her new and improved status within the firm. And it highlights that she is one of the hardest working royals. William and Catherine, they said, have a unique profile, but Sophie has established herself as an indispensable support. Love it. I am very happy that she's finally getting the recognition that she so deserves. All right, let's move on now. All right, let's move on to Prince William. Now, we know that he led the rehearsals for the Trooping the Color birthday parade that's going to take place on the 17th. And he took a salute at the Colonel's Review at Horse Guards Parade. And he did it as the Colonel of the Welsh Guards, which is one of the 7 regiments of the Household Division of the British Army. And they all come together for Trooping the Color. Well, the reason the article says that this is so important is because he is this is his first time as the head of the Welsh Guards, because 1 year ago, he did it as the Colonel of the Irish Guards. Now, we know that after the Queen died, there was a lot of shuffling around of everything, all right? So then William became the Colonel of the Welsh Guards, which made Catherine the Colonel of the Irish Guards, and made Camilla the Colonel of the Grenadier Guards. That was removed from Prince Andrew last year. Now let's turn our attention back to Charles, and this time with Anne. Charles and Anne are going to be together to present the Sovereign's Standard to the British Army Cavalry Regiment, the Blues and Royals. Now, Anne is the colonel, the royal colonel of that group. Charles will receive a salute from the distinguished members of the Blues and Royals. And, we know that Charles and Anne have a very close relationship. They've always been close ever since childhood. We know that during the coronation, Charles made Anne the gold stick in waiting, which essentially made her his bodyguard. So she put on this gorgeous cloak and she rode on horseback to the coronation and back. I just think that was really nice. She had on her Blues and Royals uniform underneath her cloak. And she said she was the gold stick, which is the protection officer. And she said, I was asked to do it. And I said, yes. So we all know that when they were really young, they relied on each other when their parents were always out on these extensive tours. So I think that's nice. All right, moving on. All right, I just wanted to touch on this Mike Tindall and his fabulous wife. We know this article points out that he's been very busy. There was the coronation, there was that golf tournament, then they went to Monaco. But they're basically pointing out that in the next week, he's going to have Father's Day and Lena's 5th birthday. She was born on June 18th. So he's very, very busy. By the way, I love the hat. Once again. All right, moving on. Okay, remember I told you that Tuesday was the day for the decision of whether Harry's visa records were going to be released. Well, as far as I can tell, no decision was made, or they didn't announce any kind of a decision, which to me means that that's their decision. So it looks like they're just going to move forward. And I'll keep you updated. All right, next up, somebody put this comment up on my last video, and they were wondering if Netflix was going to make the whole Nazi uniform disgrace William and Catherine's fault in the new season. I actually wondered the same thing. It'll be interesting to see how they spin it. We'll see. All right, moving on. All right, next up, we're going to talk about the article, but notice it's Lilibet. So they're now referring to her constantly as Lilibet, no more Lily. So her godfather, Tyler Perry, is apparently getting ready to purchase BET, which is Black Entertainment Television, and VH1, which means he'll be in a position to give Meghan some work. There you go. Although, as much of a friend as he is, he's still a businessman. She still has no talent. So let's see how that goes. All right, moving on. Now, let's go back to this whole Wounded Warrior thing. We know that Harry was there. I think that he was there at this point because he needed some positive PR. He made a fool of himself in that UK hacking case. We all know he's going to end up losing that case. And I'm pretty sure that Meghan sent him out and told him, get some good PR, go hang out with these people. Personally, I'm kind of disgusted. This ranks right up there with the time that he went to Hawaii, to Pearl Harbor, and stood there with all of the people saluting him. He's not in the military anymore. We already know that he was Bunker Harry and that he was, totally protected while he was there. And we also know that he claims to have killed all these people. Yeah. So he gave a speech and said his spirit was renewed. Word out is that he was booed. But let me just tell you this. This article came out previously. American veterans think Prince Harry is dishonorable. So not everybody is liking him. All right, I just want to touch on this really quickly. Apparently, an ex-staff member of Harry and Meghan's is upset that Netflix put in all that fake stuff about them being hounded because this person is saying that we did everything correctly so that they were never in that position. That's nonsense. We took good care of them. And now, of course, we all know that it was stock footage because they want you to believe that Harry and Meghan were, hounded by the paps, but we already know they weren't. All right, next up, do you guys remember I told you just yesterday about how Radar Online had used the Freedom of Information Act with the Los Angeles Police Department to find out that it was Harry and Meghan's spokesperson who was leaking all their information? Remember that? And in the Netflix documentary, Marco was saying, quote, "Oh my God, they're just circling. What's wrong with these people? It's almost 5 in the morning and Archie's waking up." Okay, did you guys ever stop to think, why would anybody bother to fly a drone at 5 o'clock in the morning knowing that everybody's going to be asleep and they're not going to get any photos? Why would they be trying to get pictures of Archie at 4:30 in the morning? Think about that. It's so funny. I found this and reported it to you guys. And then afterwards, Tom Bauer went on GB News and revealed exactly what I had revealed to you earlier, that Harry's wife was the leak in the drone scandal. Very interesting. So in case you guys missed it, you're going to want to hear what Tom Bauer said. Listen to this.
That when Meghan complained, when they arrived in America from Canada in 2021, they went to stay in Tyler Perry's compound in California, LA. And she complained about the drones flying over, looking for Archie. And in the Netflix series, she says, aren't they, these people are just terrible, what the lengths they'll go to invade our privacy. Well, Tom Sykes reveals today that he was tipped off about that drone attack, and that he got from the Los Angeles Police Department under FOIA a revelation that in fact Meghan tipped the police off, tipped the drone, the paparazzi off, where she could be found. She wanted her privacy invaded, which to us now doesn't seem that shocking because we've seen them invading their own privacy for years now. But the idea that within days of arriving in America for their privacy, she was literally tipping off the paps where to find her. It just shows that she's on a different planet to all of us. Her agenda is by now so obscure, we can't even say, except that she's got a puppet, and the puppet is Harry. You know, Dan, because you've got to look at what my book revealed about her. She's a scheming woman.
Revenge.
She's always been plotting. She's always been looking how she can use people for her own benefit.
Well, that's why I wonder if she wants Harry to be weak, you see.
But it's not that she wants him to be weak. She probably no longer sees his purpose. She doesn't see what he can still do for her because he's done everything. He's given her the title. He's given her fame. What is the next step? And the terrible tragedy which is now unfolding is she dumped her father, she dumped her first husband, she dumped the boyfriend in Canada, she dumps people who aren't in any use to her. Is she going to dump Harry now? Is what we're seeing now the slow motion of Meghan Part 9? Because it's so heartless to treat this fellow like this, and I can't see how she could really treat him so appallingly, the father of her children. But her absence from everything is by now seeming pretty suspicious.
Now, as we know, Harry and Meghan have not sued Tom Bauer over his book or Valentine Lowe. They had their attorneys send them threatening letters warning what would happen if they published those books. But since then, nothing. Radio silence, because you can't sue something when it's true. Now, let's roll into the end here. Prince Harry, this article says, is putting Chelsea under distress because he wants to help his wife. Well, I agree this is really wrong because Chelsea is married. She has a young child. He obviously did not consult her before he started this lawsuit. You know, he says, the article says, quote, "Did it not occur to Harry, who feels every prick of life like a dagger, that revisiting the flora of their affair might distress this blameless person who, unlike Harry, backed out of the strobe lights?" You know, in the end, you know, his constant, whining and crying and his willingness to share details makes him less likable. Well, you guys know I really want your comments. What do you think about Harry going to be around the Wounded Warriors? Do you think it was just for good PR? Because I do. All right, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell. If you've already done that, double check, make sure you're still subscribed. Don't forget to go into the description box, get the link to my Twitter, my Getter, my Rumble, my email, and my physical address. For those of you who've donated to the Coffee Fund or through my thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.